Thanks for joining us today on New England Living. I'm your host, Rachel Holt. Coming up next, for nearly 2 centuries, the Providence Athenaeum has served as a living history for the city and its surroundings. Now it serves an even broader audience, thanks in part to the library's Director of Engagement, Robin Wetherill. We're here at the Providence Athenaeum, and this place is really incredible, but let's start with that word, Athenaeum. First off, what does that mean?
It's a tricky one.
Yeah.
No one knows how to say it, no one knows how to spell it, but that's because it is an ancient word. It comes from Greek and Latin, and it means a place of wisdom and knowledge. The first Athenaeum was built by Emperor Hadrian in Rome, and today it means a place where people can come together and access materials, access information, and be with each other.
Okay, so it is a library, but it goes a little bit beyond that and is more of a place for the
Totally.
community.
We're an odd institution. We're a 19th century relic. So we're part library, we're part museum, we're part time capsule, we're part cultural center, we're part wedding venue. We really do it all. Back in the early 19th century, in the 18th century, libraries were at universities or in private hands. And so if you're a regular person who just wants to read a book, where are you gonna get it? You probably can't afford a copy. You're not gonna maintain your own personal collection. So the founding citizens of Providence came together and said, we need to pool our resources to create a collection that will help lift up the citizens of this city. And that's what they did.
And how unique is it to find an Athenaeum still operating today?
The member-supported library model has fallen out of favor as the public library system have taken over the world, which is fabulous, but there are still some of us that exist. There's a dozen or so of us left who still have members and still maintain these collections while being separate from public library systems.
Wow, that's incredible. Just gives you a sense of how rare this is.
Yeah.
And really special for people to come in. And anyone can come in here, you don't have to be a
Absolutely.
member?
Oh, anyone can come in at any point. In order to take books out of the building, you need to be a member, but to come in, spend an afternoon in the collection, soak up the ambiance, peruse some books, anyone is welcome.
Let's talk about the collections. How many books are we working with here?
The number always changes as we get new materials, but we have about 175,000 volumes in the building right now. Our oldest book is an illuminated breviary, an illustrated prayer book from the 15th century, and our newest book was probably released today. So we have centuries of materials here.
As part of the extensive collection of books here, there's a section of rare books. What can we find in there?
We're very lucky to have a rare book room here. Those materials are some of the most precious and valuable in our collection, and they're regularly exhibited. So if visitors come in, they can see some of them on view outside the Philbrook Rare Book Room. Some of my favorites from that space are first editions like Leaves of Grass or Moby Dick that were purchased at the time they were published for our members to read, and they checked them out a lot, so they may not be in the best shape, but they're special because they're our first editions that we bought when they were written.
And it's not just books here. There's a lot of artwork. What are some of the highlights?
So when visitors first walk in the space, they're met with one of my favorite collections of artwork, which is our busts. So if you look up on the mezzanine, there are 16 busts. Some of them were donated to the library in the mid-19th century, and some of them were installed just a couple years ago. They're figures that range from Socrates to Franklin to Shakespeare to Frederick Douglass, and they're an incredible 19th century homage to the leading intellectuals whose work and whose principles helped inspire this institution.
There's a painting here, The Hours, and it's over 200 years old, and it's been stolen, I understand, a couple of times.
And thankfully recovered. It hangs right above the circulation desk, so when visitors come in, they can visit the mezzanine and take a look. It is an ivory miniature, so it's this beautiful small painting that depicts past, present, and future as young women. It was painted on ivory by a Newport, Rhode Island artist, Edward Malbone, in 1801, and it's inspired generations of our membership. We've even had members dress up as the painting.
This card catalog behind us, there's a lot of history here as well, and great handwriting. It's not the digitized card catalogs that we're used to today.
Yeah. So we have an online catalog, of course, but our physical card catalog is one of the treasures of the institution. So before computers, how do you find one book in 175,000? We are very lucky that ours is from 1883. The library hired our first female employee to handwrite the cards. So if you flip through and visitors are welcome, you can see her original handwriting from the 19th century.
Obviously, the past is so important here, but It feels really fresh and modern when you're in here. How are you keeping things current for the public and your members now?
So as we maintain our physical space, we're constantly bringing in new materials. We also have a lot of programming. So we've welcomed incredible leading speakers, humanists, writers, people engaged in the humanities. We have book groups for our members that bring in dozens and dozens of people every week to read and discuss together. And we're lucky enough to be supported by almost 3,000 members. With their membership, they gain access to checking books out, but they're also able to attend our programs, join a reading group, visit other institutions nearby. So there's lots of benefits to being involved here, even just for the day, but also as members.
What is the mission here as you keep the Athenaeum operating in current day?
Our mission today is to engage the mind, inspire the spirit, and elevate the public discourse, which is a pretty heavy obligation, but one that we are happy to undertake. We want to take the past and help inform the present. We want to make sure that we are reading, we're thinking, we're learning, we're discovering, we're questioning, so that our members and the people who visit us leave the building a little bit more inspired than when they walked in.
Such a surreal feeling that you can do all this in a place that Edgar Allan Poe once went to.
He did. That is one of our favorite stories of our history. In 1848, Poe was in Providence to do a speaking tour, but also to court Sarah Helen Whitman, who was a Providence poet who lived just down the street. They actually got engaged in Providence in a local cemetery, which is so Poe, and they would go on dates here in the library. And sadly, they actually broke up in our building.
Oh no.
Poe died less than a year later in Baltimore under mysterious circumstances.
I didn't see a special breakup section.
Yeah.
No ropes around it?
I wish we knew exactly where it was, the little shrine. But it's a fabulous story. And one other Poe element, which I really love, is that he checked out a book from our collection. So when he was visiting here, he used the membership of one of our members to check out a book. And we still have his signature where he checked it out in the charging book and the actual book that he took back with him to his hotel room, which is so cool.
It really gives you a sense of how long this has been around and serving the community here.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and you think of Poe as a tourist too, right? And like when you come to a city, what do? You visit the library, and that's exactly what he did.
This is a really impressive building from the outside, and it doesn't look like your average library. Do you get the sense that people don't know they can come in here and this is for the public?
I think there is a little bit of that. Our building is designed in the Greek Revival style, so it looks just like a temple, if you imagine like an ancient Greek temple. So I think some people are a little intimidated. What is this giant stone building that doesn't have any windows on the front? But once you make it up those granite steps and you emerge into the main space, it is a world of books. And we often get little kids say, oh my gosh, it's Beauty and the Beast, it's Harry Potter. And so I think when you get past that sort of granite stone exterior, there's an incredible warmth inside.
It really has the feel of a hidden gem once you're inside.
We hope less hidden every day, but I do think that's part of the Athenaeum's charm. Don't judge a book by its cover, right? So when you peel back that sort of severe exterior, you get something truly magical.